And we are live. What's up, y'all?
What it do? What it do? What it do? I ain't gonna hold y'all. Today was a little rainy today, so I'm a little off. I didn't know what time it was. I just spent most of the day just like vibing out and chilling, watching TV shows. But y'all know one thing that we definitely is about to touch on this show. And Jezabel, would you like
Well,
to?
I
Would
would love to. I would love to. I would love to. You see how excited I am.
you?
One,
Yeah.
because I've been thinking about you all day because I was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna have this show. And Success said he didn't get into hip hop or rap until Kanye. So I
Yep.
want to know what the hell was you listening to in the 90s?
Kirk Franklin.
Oh, whoop, whoop,
I
stop.
was listening, so I was a big Kirk Franklin guy, Fred Hammond guy.
Okay.
You know the greats, the legends.
Oh, okay.
I would also dabble in some Michael Jackson. Like I said, that's why I said that Michael Jackson, Travis Scott is the new Michael Jackson. You know, because
Okay.
I reckon that how little kids felt when I was a kid coming up in church and I would sneak away to hear some music. I reckon that's how kids felt when they went and told their parents they wanted to listen to Michael Jackson. They felt safe. That's how they did. We felt good. We were like, Mom, listen to this Michael Jackson song. The parents was cool. Like I said, Travis Scott, I think the parents feel that same vibe in today's world. But
Well,
Tupac, I did sneak away. I did sneak and try to listen to all the Tupac album or music I could, right?
okay.
Tupac was my favorite rapper of the 90s.
Mm.
Now, that was crazy because my little brother loved Biggie, right? But I always felt like Tupac was first. Biggie was like added into the game late 90s, mid 90s.
All right. Well, let me give you a rundown of what I was listening to because anybody that knows me, that grew up with me, know I'm a die-hard 3 6 Mafia fan. Not
Yeah,
only am I that, but I'm also a Bone Thugs and Harmony fan. I mean, Crazy
yeah,
Bone and Lazy Bone, they're my babies. Like I had the biggest crush on them when I was a kid. So as
man, I bet.
Tupac and Biggie thing, I did listen to Biggie, Master P, Snoop Dogg, Mace. Like I grew up with my boy cousins, so I really listened to a lot of like hardcore rap music. Shall I say? So
Yeah.
I told you I was going to tune in for the verses. I was there from start
Yes, you
to
did.
almost end. I mean, I know my mother was out there in the living room, like, what the hell is going on back there? Because I was like,
Okay. Okay.
so I want to ask you before I tell you my wow moment during the verses. What was your wow moment? Did you get a chance to watch it?
So let me tell you what's crazy, right? I already told you I was not watching this versus.
You missed it.
I mean, like I told y'all, both of the Harmony had 7 songs.
No, they had more than that. And if you watch the verses, that's when I was like, dang, I forgot about the song. Oh, murder, oh, murder. Like, I was like,
Yeah, but like, all right. This is what this is. I really, I want to go off schedule here, and I want you to tell me how you felt watching versus.
okay.
Like first, like I just want you to tell me how you felt watching this versus.
So this is, of course, like the Gucci versus Jeezy. This was one of like this was a must watch for me because this
Okay,
was the rap group that I listened to. Like I
the
used to,
hardest.
my auntie broke my When the Smoke Clears 3 6 Mafia CD because she felt it was trash. I had
What?
all of their lyrics in the back of my notebook in middle school. I memorized most of the words to When the Smoke Clears. Like I still know them to this day. Like that's how die hard I was.
Okay,
So
okay,
watching the verses, seeing Lazy Bone still looking fine, Crazy Bone still looking fine. Oh my gosh. I was like,
okay.
it took me back.
Look, I like
Um,
how you practicing no colorism. That's perfect.
because I like both of them growing up. So watching it, I was just really excited. Like I like how 3 6 came off. I think their first song. I'm trying to remember. It was something like that. It was something off of to the Up Thugs album.
Okay.
I like how they started off. Bone Thugs kind of threw me off the way they were starting off because I was like, oh, they need to catch up. But they had a lot of add-ins, and so they brought out, of course, Lil Jon. I got to see him in concert once in my life. They brought out who else was out
I heard Wayne was out there. I heard Wayne was out there.
I'm talking on the Bone Thugs side. I'm about to get to the 3-6 side.
Oh,
Like,
wait.
so
Bone Thug brought out. Wait, Bone Thug brought out. Who was that again?
Lil Jon, and I'm trying to think. Did they bring out somebody else? No, but they play all the hits. Of course, the one
all their features have passed away, isn't it?
Except for Mariah Carey.
Well, I doubt she's getting up there with the boys.
So they played all of the hits, and then on the 3-6 side, they had Wiz Khalifa. They had Deuce Duke. Crunk Ain't Dead. I just did a freestyle to that song, y'all.
Yeah. Crunk Ain't Dead. Crunk Ain't Dead. Crunk. Oh, okay.
That's my shit. So you know I was lit. Gangsta Boo is was my first female favorite rapper in life.
Okay.
She bred me. Like, so the shit she talked about in her songs, like I've done a couple of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. This is lit.
I loved it. Now my wow moment, and y'all gonna be like, oh my god. Like, really, you was wild off of that? I don't know if you know of 8 Ball and MJG, but
yeah, of course.
I started screaming. When I say I started screaming at the top of my lungs when they came out, my mother was like, "What the hell? You okay back there?" I was like, "Ah!"
True. I ain't gonna lie.
I love Young Buck, regardless of what nobody says about him. I also love Young Buck. So when Young Buck came, I went crazy for Young Buck. Terrence Howard was there.
Oh yeah, DJ was there.
Other wild moment. I think those Wiz Khalifa coming out, that was one of my wild moments. But the 8 Ball and MJG, I damn near fell on the floor because
I ain't gonna lie to you. MJ, them two, 8 Ball and MJG, were the first two rappers that I listened to, and I felt gangster. I felt like I can nobody can stop me listening to these two. They had some real like records that made you feel that way. And I was already attained at that point.
I like listening to them chopped and screw. Like I had their Orange Mouth chopped and screw, and I'm telling you, the song that they got with Lloyd, that the Go-Go, that Backyard and them always be playing, like it was just a wow moment for me. And then of course it got sad at the end. I did shed a couple of tears at the end because
why?
They performed Crossroads.
Naturally.
And when they performed Crossroads, of course, they had all of the pictures of the fallen soldiers from over the past few years. But the one thing that stood up, and I want to shout out to Lazy Bone and 3-6 Mafia, is they made sure that they pay homage to Dolph or they spoke on him. And I think just seeing his pictures and them singing that Crossroads song, like, it just was like, damn, like another. They had Nipsey up there, they had Kobe Bryant up there, they had Tupac, Biggie.
They poured out emotions. They poured their emotions. Yeah.
Out of all of them, of course, like seeing Dolph up there, like that shit brought a tear to my eye. Like I was like, damn, like this shit is so real. And they kept screaming out, like rest in peace, Dolph. Like, and it was just damn, like he's really gone. Not only is he gone, but I like how they spoke on it. You know what I'm saying? They just gave him, rest in peace or whatever. Some artists wouldn't even did all of that. But
facts.
Being the gatekeepers to Memphis sound coming into the hip hop industry, I thought it was important that they even mentioned it, because before Yo Gotti was a 3-6 Mafia, and Yo Gotti, let's talk about the 90s. He was making mixtapes in the late 90s, dissing 3-6 Mafia. So it's just they was just showing a whole Memphis love thing. So I don't know. I really enjoyed the verses. I actually watched it twice, just so that I could get my notes for today. But
I'm actually gonna watch it. I'm actually gonna watch it only because the fight or the scruffle.
Oh, I didn't even. You see, I'm so in my wow moment.
No, like that's what was so amazing. Like you were like really into giving me before we get into the scruffle that was, I want to go into a lot of things that you said, right? Like we do realize that when you think about Bone Thugs and Harmony, they have one person alive that they have collabed with that they could have possibly. Well, they really can't even afford to bring her out, right? Let's just be real. They had to give their whole versus check, and now we look at 3 6 Mafia, who is not only pioneered an area and a time, you know what I mean? Because no Easy E, no NWA, no Dr. Dre, no um no Bone Thugs and Harmony. You know what I'm saying? These are all things that had to happen. But you think about 3 6 Mafia, who was it really like before 3 6 Mafia out of Memphis like that? Like
It wasn't really
who
nobody.
put them on? I mean, like who put them on?
I'm trying to think about it. I think they I don't even know. I would say probably through Houston or something. I'm
Was
guessing because they was also into the tropical fruit stuff. They had a tropical fruit era, so I'm thinking that whole South movement. I really
now
that part I don't know.
let's just be like real blunt here. Like a lot of people was upset because, like I said, I didn't understand why Bone Thugs and Harmony was even on versus. Like if this is if versus, if they're telling us right now versus is just for black people, then I totally get it. Well, I guess they kind of already told us versus was only for black people. Yeah, when they haven't booked any white artists for it yet, or any new artists either.
So you say you don't understand why Bone Thugs was up. Once you watch this verses, you'll see. And then 3 6 Mafia and Bone Thugs had like a fake beef back in the day. It wasn't nothing major, but it was just like
I'm
this.
realizing that that's what it's about. It's about fake beefs or it's about old beefs and hashing out stuff, truces, making truces, seeing who's relevant, relevant checks, heat checks. Which honestly, to me, now let's just be blunt here, right? We have old we have old stuff that we liked and we love, and our kids have stuff now that they like and they love. At the end of the day, your kid has to be a historian to come to you talking about a Bone Thugs and Harmony as a liking. Like your kid just has to be really listening to any current sound and could find any current music from Nicki Minaj to Cardi B to Megan Thee Stallion, and you're gonna hear Juicy J. And
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I understand your relevance point as far as 3 6 altogether still being relevant. Some of their members aren't, but for the most part, DJ Paul is still actively working. Everybody sampling their music. As far as
exactly,
Juicy J
you know
goes.
how many times you hear "Yeah Ho" on the radio now, or that
Yeah,
"Yeah Ho." You just hear it. And the thing
yeah.
about it is, I mean, like, I'm not trying to say that Bone Thugs and Harmony does not deserve a place in music. I'm just saying against a group like 3 6 Mafia, they have no business going against that group. I mean,
I think they matched up pretty good though, and
well, that's why the bottles was thrown. That's why the mics was thrown.
I feel like they matched up pretty good. Before we get into the Busy Bone fight, I do want to talk about Juicy J though. Although I am a hardcore Juicy J fan, he knows that I told him I love him to his face. Several times. But anyway, I feel like he was being self-censored. Did anyone else feel that way? Like he was okay. So the group actually has I don't know how many albums, but so many songs. Like they could have did the whole verses doing group songs, but Juicy J took. I felt like he took the time to play shit off of his mixtape, which to me wasn't like. Even though I love the song, I just was like, "You're being. It's not about you right now. It's about the group." It hence why it's 3 6 Mafia versus Bone Thugs and Harmony, and not Juicy J versus Bone Thugs and Harmony. I felt like he was especially when he did the bands to make her dance. Like I just felt like that was out of place. He could have did another song off of one of their albums. They should have brought out Ludacris and did this bitch that hoe. It's just I just felt like Juicy J was a bit self centered in the performance. Him and DJ Paul was kind of taking a lot of the spotlight.
Well, you
And
said it though. You said it though. You said it 2 minutes ago.
but they're still relevant.
I mean, listen,
Okay, but it's still not fair because like they could have done it's they could have done more songs from the Choices album.
mm-mm,
They could have
mm-mm.
done anything, but they did a good job. They
You
did
know
an
why they
awesome.
didn't though? You know why they didn't?
Why?
Because what do we preach on this show every week? Performances, credits, and this is all about having your showing your work. The more work you can show, the better you grow. At the end of the day, you know why Bone Thugs and Harmony. If you think if Bone Thugs and Harmony could have had Biggie walk out that motherfucker Pop or Lil Baby, could have got Lil Baby on the record, Wiz Khalifa, Megan Thee Stallion, they wouldn't have. But you know why they can't? And this is where people don't hate me when I say this, but this is where old people having lack of respect always comes into play, right? Because honestly, if people would have done things the right way, for one, what have Bone Thugs and Harmony relevant for the last 5 years? Let's just be real.
Um,
Saying they better
okay.
than Amigos.
Lazy Bone just dropped the song I think a year
Nah,
or two ago.
no man.
Lazy Bone just dropped the song this year. If you're like, let's say if you're in the northeastern hemisphere of the United States or the Midwest, then you'll be concurrent with what type of music
I heard
they're
those projects.
dropping.
Those were Amigo disses.
No. Not the Crazy Bone. I have it on my phone. Not the Crazy Bone song. The Lazy Bone and Lazy Bone did come out with a song. Oh shit. Can you see
Yeah,
me? Can you hear
yeah,
me?
yes.
Okay. Lazy Bone did come out with a song, Distant Amigos, but I think the most recent song that they played on the verses, I don't think that was the Amigos. It was like something. And Busy Bone actually came out with music recently. I want to say was it 2 years?
Their most relevant moment is not their music, it's them saying they're better than Amigos.
Okay, all right, now. Okay, you're talking about relevance. Okay, I get it. I get it. Ooh.
I mean, you look like what was the last Drake album?
Oh, CLB.
You will do you need you didn't have to Google that.
You know what? You in this trolling. I'm fucking with you today.
No, listen, like honestly, like I tell everybody, I love I love what versus is when
Okay.
people put it in perspective and in the right perspective. It's old people heat checking. And
Uh-huh.
honestly, there's no now you said they had a beat back in the day, so now I see a bigger spectrum of what's going on in this whole realm of things. Because I mean, like honestly, what was stop? I don't know how they make groups or how they compare groups. I guess it's all about work. But when I think about 3 6 Mafia, when I think about 3 6 Mafia, I don't think of them as a group. I think of DJ Paul as the producer, Juicy J as the rapper, Crunchy Black as the hype man. I mean, at the end
You
of the day,
missing the rest of the group. Lil White, Lil Chat.
I don't
Lil
know.
White had a whole banging ass album, man. I don't understand why he wasn't even there. Lord, if
Nah, I'm not gonna hold you. I don't know who none of these people are that you just named. I know
really
LeChat.
the
I know.
only white boy that was in that group, Fraser Boy. You know what? I'm a fan. So
Nah, look. Let me tell y'all.
I'm
When
a
I
fan.
was in the
Don't mind
10th, when I was in the 10th grade, my friends used to come out every week with these album covers. They was geeking to listen to these albums, but I think they were more geeking to collect the album covers. 3 6 Mafia and No
me.
Limit. So you like it was like No Limit, a No Limit cover, a 3 6 Mafia cover. Every week, somebody was
Yeah.
dropping a new album. And I was like, young, really? This are y'all listening to all of this music? It really seems to me like an album collection. But when I really think about this stuff, like I could never really get into that music because A, it's a certain lifestyle that I think you have to live or embrace to enjoy that type of music. Now, if I had to pick one music to embrace and enjoy more, I'm going to enjoy 3 6 Mafia's music more because obviously I'd rather be in a party mode. I'd rather be in a grind mode as opposed to in a deaf, eerie mode
It's
or
smoking mode. They both does make smoking music. Stop it.
I mean,
Stop
look,
it.
they make. I told somebody they make black parody music. Like first of the month is a black parody song.
All
And
right, well,
you
you
know why
did.
that song ain't hot no more?
It's
Because
still
Bill,
hot.
nah, you know why it don't get paid no more? Because Bills no longer do on the first.
Shit, I do.
Mine's due on the fifth.
I mean, it's due on the first. The latest is the fifth. You black as shit. uh,
Real niggas know.
uh,
Real niggas know. Your bills is
uh,
due on the fifth. The last
uh.
day possible. That's the
So, so you said you was listening to Fred Hammond and
yeah. I was a
Kirk
gospel.
Franklin and stuff.
I,
So
I was a
part
gospel.
of what I wanted to talk about as far as the gospel is when 3 6 Mafia came out, they had more of like a demonic thing era aura about them. And I
Yeah.
think that's where the beef with Bizzy Bone stemmed from, if I'm not mistaken. All of the Bone Thugs and Harmony members converted to Christianity recently,
Yeah.
allegedly. And I guess Bizzy Bone, once they say you can't, when you're in, I guess, the Christian lifestyle, they say you can't have one foot in and one foot out. Like you got to be all the way in or all the way
It's
out.
like the game. It's like the streets.
Yeah. So I think Bizzy Bone was feeling some type of way, like, okay, when we came out in the 90s, yeah, we was pushing this demonic stuff to push our music to get paid. But like he said he made this post something about rebuking the satanic energy from them or something like that.
Yeah.
And I guess he was just mad before the verses about it. But my whole thing is why even show up? They could have
I
just
mean,
played the music.
because like we're not gonna ask these old I'm gonna call them IR from now on because I'm no longer gonna use the whole word. We're not gonna keep asking these IR artists why they showed up. They need that check. They needed
Okay.
it.
Well, Gangsta Boo, my girl, she
We
was
know
like,
why.
he didn't take his pills, and a lot of people
I
got
love when she said
upset.
that.
A lot of people got upset talking about you shouldn't bully people with mental health. Now, it took me like I had to watch it twice because when it happened, I actually was more mad that they stopped the music. I didn't give a fuck what was going on. I was just mad. Like, what the hell? Like, we supposed to be going to the next song. They ain't even
So
played Slide Slide
DMV.
Off yet.
So DMV.
So all of that happened, and then all of a sudden they put up this thing talking about some technical difficulties. So here I am thinking my phone or the app wasn't working, so I'm resetting everything. Like, what's going on? I got my iPad, my computer,
Yeah.
and my phone on, and
Look at
they
you.
they come back, and basically, I guess it had settled down, right?
Yeah.
But this is where I feel like it could have been staged. Because I asked that question, like, was this really like, was it staged? Because honestly, if you had that much of an issue to where the point that you wanted to get violent, how did you calm down so quick?
Well, what song was played next?
Good question. I don't remember.
I
And then
believe
we went back for break.
like honestly, I believe everything that happens on stage is staged. I don't care anymore. I believe that there's wool over all our eyes. At the end of the day, that even if it was staged or if it did happen really, it happened because of the reality check that was being cashed as opposed to the real check that was put in your pocket. The reality check that was being cashed was these boys really got 20 fucking bangers and we don't.
And
We got
they've been active long. They're still act like Juicy J just dropped a song. I think it was
and
yesterday.
he had the audacity to say they could go up against the Migos. What are you gonna do when they drop Bad and Bougie? Throw something at them? I ain't got no room for. I ain't got no room for.
Yeah, no. I don't understand. I didn't get what the hell. All I know is I wish the camera would have passed the 3 6 Mafia when Bizzy was singing because he obviously got upset about them. He said, "Y'all ugly motherfuckers ain't about to be mocking me while I'm singing this shit." And I was like, "Damn."
Like disrespecting people, calling people ugly. Somebody said, one of my friends said he was offended because they told him the SMD. And I felt, you know, Essence.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
oh,
So look like a kid in college, a kid in middle school. But like when I told when I was like, well, he know what it is when you step on stage in a battle format because versus is a battle. In the name itself, versus means that a battle is going to be on stage. A battle of words when you're talking about music and whose music is. I guess it's not about who made the best. It's not about hot records. It's about who made the best record between these two people at this time. That's why we score. That's why we grade it. It's not a concert. So it
yeah.
doesn't matter if a group gives you a record like murder, murder, more murder, more murder, right? They give you that record. But then if that record is bounce back with bands and make her dance, bam, you like, whoa.
Not really, because I felt like bands to make her dance was out of place in the stripper they had up
I
in the
mean,
banner
you
record.
you may feel that way, right? But that song heard
Yeah.
with no visual of them being on stage gets me in the mood. I can play that at the club. I can play it in my car, riding alone. I can play it in my car, riding with my girl. I may throw it on with my mom's in the back seat.
Yeah.
I don't feel bad about that.
I kind of feel
I
that.
like Bone Thugs and Harmony, but I think that some settings is too much for some people. Some settings actually do more harm. Versus is actually now hurting their brand because, in my opinion, they're showing their inability to really match up what's really going on in music and music eras. Right? The thing
I don't
is,
know if that's fair though, Six, because
no, it may
so
not be fair. It may not be
okay,
fair.
maybe not with. I can't see them other than them going against. Okay, so would you have preferred to see 3 6 Mafia and Cash Money, and then Bone Thugs versus No Limit?
I mean,
Like, is that what you're saying? Like, okay, because Cash Money is still relevant, or was up almost as relevant
I
for a
mean,
long
you
time as
the
Three
thing
Six
about it
Mafia?
is, the thing about it is, I don't know. When I ask myself, what are groups, right? What are like actual groups? Now, when you talk about groups, like I remember like Goody Mob, you know what I'm saying, and I remember Crime Mob. Um, who else I really remember like that? It was like a lot of Southern rap groups and stuff like that. But
Ghetto
still,
Boys.
yeah, still in those times, I think that it's like musically, I don't think that verses is about. I think that for one, the name verses is already what makes it wrong,
Mm,
right? That's already my problem because, like I said, why is this a competition of song for song as opposed to just a great concert with two groups or two acts, right? Because that makes it already better now, where I'm not having to say, okay, whose song is better then? Is this group better than this group? Because at the end of the day, you asking about what vibes are you trying to fulfill when you ask which group is better. And honestly, there are more people in this world that want to be happy and turn up than want to be sad and remembering.
I think versus to me it's like a concert, like the way I think of it. I don't outside of the Gucci versus Jeezy, like and Monica versus Brandy.
Even that juicy Gucci versus Jeezy. I mean, look how they ended. It was so icy, giving us a real good, nice kumbaya moment.
And that's what they did with well both of them.
I couldn't believe that. Like honestly, when you just said that, you said the ultimate you said the ultimate thing when you was telling me how they played Crossroads, right? I mean, they even contributed that song and had to play on our emotions for us to accept it in today's world.
Okay. All right.
Like honestly, like that song would have not had the same effect without that Kobe, Dolph, and all of these people that we are currently losing.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have had the same effect with them just singing it.
Well, if they would have played the song earlier in the thing, then yeah. But the fact that
It would have been over. You can't play that song early. That's your number. That's your it. That's your it song. Like honestly, listen. That's like everyone coming to your concert, right, or coming to see you, or like everyone looking at this show and saying, "Hey, I'm here for the Huffinton Post. I want to know what a bad weed is," right? And we give it to them in the beginning. Now they're not going to watch the 45 hour and 30 minutes or whatever before the Huffington Post. They're just like, hey, we got it. We good. The Huffington Post, we know what a good weed is. Fuck it. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, when you got your money shot, you don't give it away early. Now, it wasn't no shocker that Crossroads was coming. Everybody on their edge is like, all right, they're going to do Crossroads right now. Well, they're about to do Crossroads. Oh, nope. Nah, they're going to do Crossroads last. It got to be last.
I wasn't even waiting for that song. I was waiting for First of the Month. I don't think they did that.
I don't think they did First of the Month because it was the 5th.
And then I was waiting for Slob on My Knob. Like I was waiting for that.
Now, whose song is that? That's 3 6 Mafia.
That's 3 6 Mafia.
You know they wasn't gonna give that.
They gave it. They gave it, but they waited. They waited like the whole time I'm in the chat. I'm like, they gonna play Slob on My Knob? Like,
but they're not gonna give that early. They're not gonna get that early. That's one of their ones, and that's one of their ones in the cut for when you bring out First of the Month or you bring out Thuggish Ruggish Bone. You know what I'm saying? Because versus is a battle. And when you know your opponent has 7 songs, you're going to match them up strategically to automatically win that setting. It's just simple as that. I believe that versus would be a lot better when they start actually matching hits for hits, hit makers for hit makers. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it shouldn't be, I can look on the billboard and see this group that had maybe 10 top 20s is going against this group that had 15 top number 10s, right?
But I think for this one, it was just more of an error thing, more so than a hit for hit. It was just like an error plus who had this problem. But they were supposed to be on tour, do a concert together a while back.
Yeah, somebody said No Limit is still touring, and Keith Sweat. That's my friend Willie Green said. Shout out Willie Green. But he said No Limit is still touring, and Keith Sweat is still touring. And I wanted to make sure that everyone out there understands. I checked these dates. Yes, No Limit is touring right now, and I want to say congratulations to everyone who's buying their tickets to the No Limit tour. Big ups to them. But let's not confuse spot dates for touring. Okay, we got to understand something here. What No Limit is doing is touring, but that's like a No Limit reunion tour. When that's done, everyone's gonna take their checks and go back in hiding and go back wherever they've been and be cool. There ain't gonna be no new music coming from it. There ain't gonna be no tour for the next 5 years, 20 years. When I tell y'all that this industry, why versus doesn't work and why it's so hard for them to maintain relevance as opposed to a rock group or a pop singer, well, it's obvious. They're working 24/7 around the clock, right? So if you got a goddamn artist working 24/7 around the world, around the globe, and you got an artist who works maybe 3 times a year around the States, right? And then now you got artists who from the early 90s who I've already told everybody had shit deals, right? So if they all had shit deals and they all are teaching us now, be free, be independent, be in control, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what they all are teaching us. If this is really what they saying to us, then we know they ain't got any relevance in today's world because everyone has moved on, right? So when you keep asking us, you asking us to like watch verses, tune into verses, and enjoy this act. Now you're asking, but we really can't enjoy it as musician fans of artists. we have to enjoy it from a point of who was better that night. So now that changes the whole goddamn perspective for me, right? It turns it into battle rap with songs, which is cool, but not fair because Bone Thugs and Harmony, like I said, last time you seen them on the internet, they were complaining about they were better than the Migos.
Right.
They didn't say 3 6 Mafia. They didn't say nothing. And then to go out there and from what the internet is telling me, lost in a versus to 3 6 Mafia when it was song for song. But yeah, you telling me you better than you was the best rap group in the world, and you just went on stage and lost. And it was, you know what my biggest problem was with it? I was on Old Book, and all the old people were still like, Bone Thugs is the best rap group of all time.
I wouldn't go that far. But they're
Well,
one of the best.
you can't go that far because they just lost to a group on stage head to head.
See, you're okay. Now, if some okay, because that's perception, right? So maybe that person feel like they're the best rap group because of their style, their flow, their
That's what he
you
tried
know
to
what I'm
say. That's what he
saying? Like,
said. That's what he said. But they lost
because
song
they're
for song.
uncomparable. I can't as far as I want to say I don't want to say diversity, but variety of flows and just melody and all of that stuff that they got going on. I just feel like I haven't.
Well, I
We
mean,
don't have another group that to me kind of
no, we
compare.
don't. We
They're
don't
in
have
their
another. We don't have another five band group. They were a five. They were a rap boy band. We don't have another rap boy band. We haven't never had that ever again. The closest we've came to it was the Migos, but they specifically rap. I mean, listen, let's not act like let's not act like the Bone Thugs and Harmony was one guy giving us all different types of flows. No, they were all different flows that they brought together and harmonized it, and it sounded angelic. It sounded beautiful.
so they're one of a kind, and they should
Well,
be the best in their and what they do. To me,
yeah, but
I don't feel like they
like we
lost the
said,
original.
one of a kind does not make you best, right? Or does not make you great. There's never been another DeLorean made. I mean, after the DeLoreans were made, they were put out and they were stopped being produced. They were stopped being made. So when you saw the one in Back to the Future, you were like, "Oh my God, I want a DeLorean!" And only like 50 people in the world was able to get one, right? So it's not like, oh, they stopped making them because they wanted to make them good, legendary cars. They stopped making them because they were trash cars, and no one really. It was not lucrative for them to continue making them. So the DeLorean became a collectible item because it was no good to do what it was intended to do, and that's drive and get you from point A to point B safely. You know what I'm saying? So it's no reason saying somebody is one of a kind does not entitle you to getting this credential for being one of the best. You were a good experiment. You did your thing. You were a good try. You did your thing. You had a powerful engine behind you in Easy E, Interscope, and everything that is with them. You know what I'm saying? But let's just be real. All of these artists that came up in the 90s, if you did not transcend in the 2000s when everybody was getting knowledge on how to grow, you became irrelevant. And honestly, why I was more upset with Bone Thugs and Harmony than any verses that I've ever seen and that I've ever been with is for the main fact that their only relevance in the past 5 years is them saying they was better than the Migos and they was the best rap group ever.
Well, if the Migos is a boy rap band, then I mean,
Well, technically, the Migos, technically the Migos are a boy rap band. They dress, they got outfits, they got choreography, they have, synchronized hooks and synchronized verses and vocals, you know,
uh-huh.
like You see some of their songs, they don't even finish. They don't even. It doesn't even go into the hook before the next one comes in rapping. You know, they're finishing each other's points. So they're ad libbing over each other. I mean, when they on stage, it just looks like a. It looks great, probably, right? So they are. They are. They're just older, but they started younger, so they where they are, rap band. But that's why they're trying to have solo careers. You see what I'm saying? I mean, Bone Thugs and Harmony did not fail because they split up and started having solo careers. They failed because they never knew the business in the first place. And they was always in a situation where somebody was screwing them over. And then whatever self-assistance they gave to themselves in that process. I mean, listen, if someone gives you $10,000 a month, you can't complain to people that make $1,200 a month and got to pay all their bills, right? You can't complain and say we made millions and they was only giving me $10,000 a month. You're like, what the fuck? I can live on $10,000 a month. So you start questioning like a lot of things, and then you start asking yourselves, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, who really owns these things? Who really owns? Who really gets the percentages? What are they really bringing home? What are they really taking in? What's the real contract? What's the real business? And it's like, some groups are just, some acts are just destined to fail because you know what always takes over passion, greed, and the biggest thing is this: if you work for a year and you see someone making millions and billions and you're making thousands, hundreds of thousands, well, you question, how can I get? How can I get this? You don't think long game. Most people don't think long game. They automatically say to themselves, the first thing that comes to their mind, I can do this. I don't need him. I can do this myself. You forget the people that helped me make the 100,000s. I need to figure out how I can make the millions, and vice versa. So that's what happened in Bone Thugs and Harmony situation. Too many people say, "How can I can do this? I can do that. I can do this. It could be me." But at the end of the day, you're still owned by a lot of stuff. Now, what happened with 3-6 Mafia? How was it? How were they able to evolve, right? And how was it? How was it Bone Thugs and Harmony? Like you said, they pioneered the game. They pioneered a sound, and still is an unmatched sound today. Surely someone wants that sound, but they haven't been asked to be. There's been no collabs. There has not been no new artist that wanted a Bone Thugs and Harmony collab. I mean, it hasn't happened, but we're to
I think
assume.
it would be nice to have a Rod Wave and Bone Thugs.
I think it would be. I think it would be nice to have. I think it would be nice to have a little baby and Bone Thug, a the baby and Bone Thug. I mean, look, they rap with Tupac, they rap with Pac, they rap with Mariah Carey. So surely they can get something in with Taylor or somebody that wants those sounds, but that's not what's happening. So honestly, when you ask me,
well, can you blame it on them? I mean, well,
it's definitely on them. It's definitely on them.
I'm not sure if they're still buying to any contract and if they are.
Yeah, but they're not likable. They're not likable either.
What do you mean? Likable?
Now listen, like honestly, if you gotta go to a party and you gotta hang with the 4 or 5 dudes turning up, or you gotta hang with the 4 or 5 goth dudes that just got finished talking about going to the crossroads and bones and all this shit. What side of the party are you going on?
Well, that's not fair.
I mean, if you take yourself out the party, if you on the street, you walking in the street, and you're coming to a crossroads, on your side of the street, you got Bone Thugs and Harmony. On the other side of the street, you got 3-6 Mafia. They just regular guys standing on the corner, turning up, being themselves. You got to decide What side you walking by?
It depends on how I feel that day.
Yeah, yeah. And if you feeling like nobody better not try me today, I don't even give a damn. You gonna walk on that Bone Thugs and Harmony side. But if you feeling like, you know what, I'm choosing peace today. I'm choosing life. I'm choosing good. I'm choosing. I'm choosing. I'm
I'm
choosing.
not gonna let you sit here and go on both thugs and harmony
No,
like that. Like
let me
it's
tell
not
you
their
why I'm doing
music
this.
is not
Let
the
me tell you why I'm
person.
doing this
Where are
because
you getting
when,
this from?
when I get old people on my page that's born in the 70s and 60s trying to argue me down about music and music taste, I have a huge problem with it, right? And I always say to people, you cannot change your criterias based on personal preference. You would not like an NFL player or NBA player that came in and gave you one era and no championships. You would not like an NBA player that came in and gave you one era, no championships. You know what I'm saying? Nothing really. And you would not respect any type of actor or actress that just plays one role, always that role, and then these people come out years later disrespecting the people that you call that you're looking up to. That's really like creating a wave or really doing their thing. I feel like that versus should have been set up to be done right with who they challenged. But it couldn't be done that way because everybody in the world, everybody in the music industry knew what I knew. These guys only got 7 songs.
Ever they don't have. They have a couple of turn up songs, okay?
We named
Because
them.
when you said like, okay, I'm thinking Bone Thugs and Harmony is more like music you would listen to in the daytime. 3 6 Mafia is what you listen to when you get ready to go to the club. But
Yep.
when you driving to work or when you first wake up, like you hop out the bed.
Now let me tell you what's crazy, right? Because I'm not even a fan of the music, right? I'm more of a fan of evolution of music because, like I said, in the early '90s, I only was listening to Tupac, and whenever a Biggie song was being played in retrospect, right? So obviously that was like Bad Boy Records. Then in the 2000s, I started listening to like Cash Money Records and stuff like that, right? So my music library isn't that big, it isn't that extensive. So when people are talking to me about records that was done in the 90s and the early 90s, I'm like, oh, I may remember that. All right. But now I'm talking about evolution. I'm talking about growth and showing that I understand this game and my place in it. Right?
Okay.
3 6 Mafia showed everybody in Memphis how to find your place. like like how to walk in this game independently or sign majorly, right? They walked in, they got an Oscar, right? They worked on movies. They did that. They did that. So now you say, all right, well, let me really reflect on what the culture really means to a person like me that just jumped in the game. Let's say a person, if my knowledge is like this and I'm old enough, right? My music knowledge is only early 2000s. So now you think about the people that's younger than me, the people who are actually controlling these actual situations. Because even though Triller is a bunch of old guys, probably born in the 60s and 70s, who are now setting up these shows. I mean, come on, Swiss Beats
They
old.
are not in their 60s and 70s. Oh
Listen,
my
listen,
god.
listen, listen.
Y'all
If
get him.
if Swiss is in his 50s, if Swiss and Tim is in their mid 50s, right?
Okay. I
Or
give them
early 50s.
mid 40s.
You know the white guys that they went and got these jobs from because they were working for Triller at first before they sold it to them. It was just a partnership type thing, allegedly, right? But we know what it is. You work for the white people. You know they wasn't their peers. It wasn't another 55-year-old, 65-year-old, right? This is a company. Triller is a company ran by old white people who now sit up there and say things like, huh, Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knight, that'd be great. Let's do it. Bring in
No.
Dionne Warwick. And bring in Dionne Warwick while we at it.
No, I think this is the
This is
opportunity
this.
for this. This is the opportunity
This
for
they booked Keith Sweat and Bobby Brown. They
so
booked Keith
Bobby
Sweat
Brown. No, didn't you just
versus
have a movie
Bobby Brown.
2 years ago?
Okay, but what did Keith Sweat? What did Keith Sweat? What did Keith Sweat have any business doing on that stage with Bobby Brown? I don't even know if they was in the same era. I don't even know if they was even performing together. I believe that one was after the other. I don't even know though.
I don't think Keith Sweat and Bobby Brown is a match.
Man, I want to see a powerhouse versus. I ain't gonna lie. I was excited about the Gucci one and Jeezy one. That was the only one I was really excited about. Really, because I just wanted Gucci to address the stuff. And when he did, I felt like I finally got something out of verses that I've been looking for. Somebody to not just get up here and act like it's a concert, but address the fact that this title says verses. Like they were way better when they were on the phones and on their iPads. They were way better.
That's
right?
what someone else said. Someone else said they enjoyed it better when before it was like all of this production and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I'm be honest, it was a distraction this versus, but I appreciated the people that they brought out.
Man, look, like it was way better when they was like, yeah, you like okay, that was a good record, but I got one for you. I got one that was way better than that.
They did that at the like Lazy Bone was like, okay, all right, y'all like the
But it means nothing. It means nothing. It means nothing coming from Bone Thugs and Harmony to say that you don't like her. It means nothing coming from Bone Thugs and Harmony. We need some power hitters. Like I need some hitters on that stage. Like, and I've been pleading to the people at Triller to get some current acts. Also bringing some white acts. Nah, listen, Linda, listen. They need it. They need something. They need something to revitalize it after we watch. Listen, the last few verses. These are the things that I watched happen. I watched a grown man take a grown man's hat and run around stage, or a man's do-rag and run around stage. I saw a man kick a man for trying to pull off his jeans. I also no. Hear me out. Now I just got to see men go on stage and literally just start throwing microphones and things at each other. Like these are supposed to be our pioneers, and this is how they acting. They in their 50s.
That's not fair.
They in their 50s. I don't like that.
I think that versus should stay the way that it is, and it should be catered to people 30 and up, maybe 40 and up. Because
yeah, but
the young people got everything else. Like I can't sit there. I don't want to.
Don't be like that. It's time for us.
I don't want to see drill rappers up there. I don't want to hear it. I really don't. I gotta hear it.
I would like to see a Chief Keef. I would like to see a Chief Keef versus Lil Durk.
Okay. No.
I would like to see. I would like to see.
Right, but then someone should create another versus for that. But I like this that they're that they're giving the younger people an opportunity to see the music that they need. And that's important, because if they don't do this, then people will forget. And I really enjoy old music. Like,
what do you think? What do you think the best era of music was?
2000 to 2010.
Of course, you know why though. I mean, I'm not about to exaggerate or put words into your mouth.
I'm only going to say
the era that you
older. I was older, and I was able to access the music that I like. But if you're talking also, about like, why do you think
that you subconsciously actively picked that era? Y'all know what I've deemed that era, and I wish that I had a horn, because y'all know what that era is. That is the era of Kanye.
No, but I didn't even listen to
No,
that.
no, no, no. Yes, you did. See, the thing about it is, who did you
Okay,
listen to?
I did listen to Kanye in like 2006.
No, 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 no. The thing about it is,
Who did I
one,
listen to? I
one
listened
day,
to 36 Mafia. That's when
yeah,
Choices came out. I
okay.
listened to. I'm such a fan. I listened to Big Timers because that's when shit my song came out.
Big
Big
timers.
Timers.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Uh,
Cadillac,
yeah,
but
that
I still
joint.
fly.
I
Yeah,
remember
that
that
was
song.
that was my shit. That's when I first started driving. I was like, okay, I got
I
this.
listened to oh shit, Pastor Troy, Devil
Pastor Troy,
Do,
go, yeah,
Devil Do. I listened
Devil Dude.
who else I listen to? See, I'm always into like
Now, like
that. Lil
honestly,
Jon and the East Side Boys.
yep, yep.
Okay.
Do you remember who
Uh
you listened to in the '90s?
yeah. Snoop Dogg.
Who?
I listen to a lot of Snoop Dogg,
Okay.
a lot of Dre, Akinelli, Mace, um, who else? 36 Mafia, the late 90s.
Wait, wait. You had no business listening to Akinelli.
I grew up. I told you I grew up with my boy cousins, and I'm like the baby girl. So like they
Bruh,
had to take me everywhere, and so that's how I grew up on rap more so than R&B.
let me tell y'all what's hilarious, right? I get a call from this guy. He's a good friend of mine, so no disrespect. I hope he doesn't take it as any. But he calls me and he says, "Yo, Six, I got an opportunity for you. You can perform for the Akinelli, and he's looking to sign artists." And I said, "Who?" He said, "You know,
Put it in
the
your
Put
mouth.
It in Your Mouth record, Put It in Your
Yeah.
Mouth guy. He has a record label called Put It in Your Mouth Records." And I said, no disrespect, but what part of me made you think that I wanted to be a part of Put It in Your Mouth Records? Well, you know, this is a good opportunity. No, it's not. It didn't work out good for Akinelli. So
I know. He
I
got
can
two
only
good,
imagine.
and that's somebody. He got two good songs. Like that's it. Just two really good songs, and
Yes.
and that's somebody I would say, yeah,
Listen,
I
like,
wonder
like,
what happened.
like, I had to do a lot of elaborating on our show last week. And Jezabel, I said that I want to do a series. And I want to title that series Artists Are Dumb. And maybe when we get to the end of it, we can say, hopefully, they aren't dumb anymore. But I believe that artists will and forever will be dumb.
Now,
Now,
what prompted you to say that after what the story you just told? Like, how does that
nah, because it's like
correlate?
honestly, honestly, like we talking about how the '90s and really for music, that's when music got great for me too in the 2000s. You know what I'm saying? But is it any coincidence that most of the artists from that era are doing really well? You know what I'm saying? And most of the artists from the '90s era are not doing so well. It is not a
No
coincidence.
Snoop Dogg is. Snoop Dogg is.
Well, is he? Snoop
Dr.
Dogg.
Dre?
Snoop Dogg
No.
has learned how to stay busy. And Dr. Dre will never be. I would never ever call Dr. Dre an artist ever.
Wow.
Um.
Let me only have-
Uh. Dr. Dre is a
I'm
producer.
still waiting on that album.
Yeah, you know what? Uh.
I might have gray hairs
Dr.
by the time
Dre.
it comes
Dr.
out,
Dre
but
is. Dr. Dre is one of the greatest producers ever. He's definitely in the top five. He's definitely in the
I'm
top five
trying to
producers
think
of
who
all
else
time.
is. Go ahead, but I'm trying to think. It's somebody else from the 90s that's probably still doing good at the
But like honestly, yeah, that's when music got great in the 2000 era. That's when artists got a little bit smarter, you know. But now artists now in this 2020 era, this 20 but since 2015 are too smart to do verses.
You know what? You're saying too smart in a sarcastic way. So I got that. Hold on. And you're right. Because that would, even though I'm not, I really don't, like, I'm more so enjoying the older people do it. Um, that would I think that
They
would be beneficial if the
they're doing it though because they need to do it. Like if we like honestly,
instead of killing each other,
what are
they
some
should.
dream verses that you would like to see? Not like, and I'm talking about acts that name some acts that you know ain't nowhere in hell is going to be able to happen, but you would like to see it.
You're talking about new and old.
Well, oh no, let's just go with old.
Oh, I keep saying this. I want to see Busta Rhymes and Twister.
You know why you won't see those two?
Wow.
Well, Busta Rhymes and Twister are on two different levels of the knowledge spectrum. So that's not going to happen because they're not going to be able to accommodate who gets paid most and how that works, how that payment works. Busta Rhymes is going to want. That's like versus is now like boxing on the low. Do you think they paid Bone Thugs and Harmony the same amount they paid 3 6 Mafia?
Hell no. Hell fucking no.
And that's honestly why Juicy J ass gave his own little solo performance because he probably got paid the most.
Of course he did.
You know,
Oh, so I would like to see them too. And then I think my other one would be I want to see Pastor Troy and I want to say let me say all those, but Pastor Troy and maybe Scarface.
that won't happen. See, you would need Pastor Troy against somebody underground.
Okay.
Scarface wouldn't do a versus. It wouldn't be good for Scarface Legend. See, the thing about it is, like I said, again,
Pastor Troy and Bun B.
that would probably be dope. But Bun B will get out there and do a whole bunch of UGK records and sway all our attention because he got the Pimp C records. And what we gonna do if he bring out what we gonna do if we do Big Pimpin' and bring out Jay-Z? Oh my God, it's over. It's over. It's over.
I mean, his
And
album
it won't
still
happen
was
because
good.
that expectancy would be high. But we know what would happen. He would just flow his verse on it and it would be over because he wouldn't be able to get Jay-Z out there.
Ludacris and T.I.
Oh, you know what? You should call T.I. and pitch that to him because he's been looking for somebody to do a
Somebody.
versus
Mm-hmm.
to go against him. And honestly, you see how T.I. is a genius, right? Because he knows there's no way he can do a versus or he's gonna do a versus against half the people that he says. And he keeps mentioning these people because it would throw you off to the real quality of artists that T.I. should be doing versus against, right? I mean, to be quite honest, T.I. he wants to put himself on like a Lil Wayne level or Jay-Z level and these big name. He's really like more him and 50 Cent are more so on the same level than he
That would be
thinks.
good.
You know, I mean, because a lot of these artists do not want to do verses because it will really do a lot of damage to a lot of careers. Because at the end of the day, who picks this music? Obviously, the artists are picking their own music. And they are picking the music based on their personal favorites and their fans, their real close fans, and that's like the 10 people they let in their circle told them is their favorites, right? But let's just be real, guys. Who determines what a hit is?
Okay.
Hands? Anyone who want to raise their hands and answer this? But no, Jezabel, it's not the fans.
The numbers.
It's the numbers.
I
It's
thought that's
the
what they were
charts.
doing because when 36 Mafia went in my head, I'm like, he's picking all of like songs that like I'm sure got numbers. That's what it seemed like to
Yes.
me. And even with Gucci Man, like I'm like, who the fuck wants that? I mean, I like Lemonade, but
Look, even
shout out
Gucci
to
Man, even Gucci Man showed Gucci Man on his verses was Gucci Man stepping out of being Gucci Man the boss, the CEO, and he jumped into Gucci Man the artist. That's why he did things like I put your homie in the dirt. I mean, the boss ain't gonna sit up there and yell that out. I'm in full blown artist mode. This is a battle. I got 10,000 on my neck. He letting them know that because we are in full blown artist mode. When he said I got real estate, you know why he downplayed that? Because that's boss talk. And we not on boss talk moment right now. We're not gonna do that because we artists tonight. And as an artist tonight, I got 10K on my neck and you don't. You see what I'm saying? Because see, that's the thing, like, you gotta understand this. Even if Jeezy was going into the verses thinking I'm gonna be a boss, that was the only moment he tried to be a boss. He was acting like an artist the whole time, walking around in a little jersey, got his hat looking like old young Jeezy again, feeling young, and then he tried to jump into boss world. I got real estate. Ask about that. I mean, is it any coincidence that we didn't never know that Young Dolph had 100 properties? He didn't ever say out his mouth, I just bought a new property. I'm on my 5th. I'm on my 20th. I just bought my 100th property, everybody. Congratulate me. He never said that. Even though he ran that label, he walked around like an artist, right? Because at the end of the day, that was easier than showing I'm a boss and stepping away from things that artists and bosses can't mix and do.
Right.
Unfortunately, that was also something that help aid in how they was able to get him. Nipsey Hussle, the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like, not moving like a boss. At that moment when you say, nah, y'all stay home. I don't need y'all today. Put the guns up. We out here cooling. Wait a minute. What? Like, we all have to understand, like, at some point, artists, when I say artists are dumb, it's because the way that you think, the way that they think. I watched an interview with Fat Trail, and he says, rapping is like being in the streets. You go in the cities, everybody know you got money, everybody know you coming in to get money. They always trying to get you. You always got to be looking over your shoulder. Well, that's pretty interesting. That's a pretty interesting concept to have. But we don't hire security. We don't hire people to run a gun for us. I mean, we know that this type of action is around the corner, and we don't hire someone to go pick up our trees when we in the city. We don't hire someone to come to our room when we're in the city and make sure we straight. We don't hire somebody to make sure that the club and security is high.
No, because they want to be seen.
Well, then doesn't that
You want to
doesn't
stand on the front. You want to be on the front line.
doesn't that sound dumb?
Boss and be on the front line. And sometimes that once you reach a certain level, it just doesn't work.
But doesn't that sound dumb? I mean, like, honestly, like, I look at a lot of stuff. I told somebody that I could do a whole series on this, right? Because it's not just about verses prying at these old artists, anguish to be relevant again. Because that's what they're doing. They prying at these old people's urgence. Because listen, like, the reason why I say to you that how can you say you wanted to stay for 30 and over? It's done on Instagram. That's already not a 30 and over spot.
I mean, it's done on Triller.
I mean, it is done on Triller too, but Triller is also new and caters to the younger crowd. It's a subscription site. You know what I mean? Like, I've been preaching this, y'all, for a minute now. Old people don't do stuff like that. Old people still have Spotify that play commercials, young. When y'all send an old person your Spotify link, they will tell you, oh, it plays something else. Well, You're not a member. You don't even pay the $10. You're using it for free.
I didn't even know they had commercials on Spotify.
Yeah, that's something old people know. You
It's
still
like
in the
Pandora.
yeah.
Okay.
You still in the young you still in the young crowd because of your lifestyle that you've chosen. Being in media, being in the clubs, and trying to stay relevant up to date stuff. You've chosen a side that you're also like honestly you're ostracized for without you even acknowledging it. You never have to even acknowledge it, but you're ostracized for your decision to stay current and stay hip. I mean, how many of your friends say, "What are you talking about?" You like you
Uh,
didn't know, you didn't hear about that.
See, and you know what's crazy? A lot of my friends, they're not like. I have a couple of friends that listen to like hip hop like me, but the rest of them they like bullshit. So they don't really listen to like trap rap, none of that shit. They might like a Drake
They
or
still listening to Drake,
they like Drake or Kevin
Future.
Gates or Future and like girly music and stuff like Beyonce and all that girly stuff.
Honestly, honestly, I don't know why you said girly stuff because that's my playlist. Mine is Drake.
I mean, I, I'm just okay. I'm just a little rough around the edges, and I have a couple of friends like me, like that. You know, we listen to like Scooter, Casino, you know, Dolph, you know, shit like
Now, like
that.
honestly,
Comedy.
only when people ask me why didn't I like music or why wasn't I into hip hop, I had older cousins, right? I walk into my older cousin's house and he's looking at um the video where the little midget guy is punching the ground and scared the shit out of me. Goody Mob or whatever,
Oh,
Ghetto
Ghetto Boy.
Boys,
Uh huh.
and scared the shit out of me. You know. Then again, you got groups like um, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Crossroad. You can't even turn in a box without saying that record. Scared the shit out of me. You know what I'm saying? So like when I be real about the music that I liked, it was like, hey, did you know these records? Well, let's just be real. My basis of every artist is based on their hit. I mean, if it wasn't for Ice Baby, I would have never gotten a chance to hear Ninja Turtle rap, which happens to be my favorite Vanilla Ice song. I mean, it doesn't matter what we like or what we don't like. What matters is how it correlates to us and how we enjoy it. But the problem that I have with a platform like Versus is when it's titled Versus and it's not really hit for hit, it's not really on the charts, it's not really even uh, um even artists that are catering to the eras that, in my opinion, cater to these sites and platforms that they've been on. Now I get it when it first started, everybody keep trying to make it like it was this and it was that. Well, I believe that it was to see if you still relevant to get on tour once the world opens back up to see who they was going to hire. But let's just be real, guys, and I keep trying to preach to y'all. This is a PRO thing, a performance rights thing. So when y'all ask for those hits that y'all was like, or those songs that you like, and you don't get them, well, maybe they don't own them. Maybe they can't get the performance rights for it, whatever the case may be. But this is a business that we all gotta understand that when when I used to like music, I used to actually could just like a song, right? But now I can't even like a song anymore
Why not?
because I you see the wheels behind it, and when you see the wheels behind it, you feel like, damn. Sometimes I feel like this song cheated.
Is that? Are you saying from an artist perspective?
Yes,
Okay.
from an artist perspective, because honestly, I can never talk to anybody as a fan or from a fan perspective because I'm not educated enough. Right? I can't come to you and say, "Oh, no, how do you like Big L? Who's a big?" I'm like, "What the hell? Who's a Big L?" You know, like you tell me you named a bunch of groups. Like I could name a bunch of groups, but I couldn't name you half of the songs they do. You know, and at the end of the day, anything even past for real, even past, I guess, 2017, that's really where my music is like extensive. Like, oh, you ever heard that record? Oh, I've heard that record. I know that record. Like, how haven't you? And it's still records that I hear, and I'm like, is that new? And they're like, boy, that thing was done in 2000. That thing was done in 1996. And I'm like, what? You know? And I hear records, and I'm like, that record is dope. And someone says to me, yeah, it was dope in 1995 too, when what you call it did it. And I'm like, huh? This is an
Oh, the
old record?
remix. Yeah, I'm tired. I respect some of the remakes, but some of them are a little tired.
Like honestly, I get the remix game now, right? I look at the joint and I'm like, the fans, the people make it too easy, right? And honestly, I tell a lot of people like this: if you can subjectively say, I don't like this music or I don't like this artist, then you're not a fan of it. You like the artist that you like. You know what I'm saying? There's certain people that listen to everybody and everything because they're really fans of music. So those are really the people that cater the world and make the world go round. Those are the ones with the playlists that are major. Those are the ones that are the big DJs. Those are the ones that are the big personalities on air. Those are the ones that know everything from where your first song was. They damn near know where you recorded it and how you was feeling. Because it's a caring thing. Those are real fans. The other people are just music listeners. They just listen to music and they don't appreciate the realness that goes behind making music, because at the end of the day, this game is set up to be unfair and it's set up to make you look like you ain't got your shit together. Because what we learn now is you ain't nothing but whatever your budget is or whatever the people behind you is, as big as your engine. It's just like a car. I mean, I can't race you in my 4 cylinder if you got a V8 or a Hemi. What I'm gonna look like at the line? Like what I'm gonna look like? But that's what it is when you got um that's what it is, because all of us right now, believe it or not, although the world is not watching us perform our records on live, all of us are in the big verses, right? And we didn't even ask to be in it. We didn't even ask to be in it. And the problem is we're battled and put up against each other song for song. Not even projects anymore. It's single for single. Was your single better than Mike Will's that dropped this same month? Was it better than Drake's that dropped this month? Was it better than such and such that dropped this month? Because y'all, like I said, we don't have real fans anymore. They're all music listeners. And the real fans, y'all don't talk to them. Honestly, I already have stressed on this so much. When was the last time you reached out to your fan and asked them how they like your new record? Have they heard it? How they like your new single? You know what I realize? A lot of people don't understand the algorithms of social media, how it works. You post all day, and then you hit up one of your friends and you say, hey, did you see my new single? And they say no, and you like automatically offended, as opposed to just tagging it in their page or in their private message and making sure that they see it. Speaking to them privately and say, hey, you see my record? Instead of posting it and assuming that the algorithm allowed them to see your posts. Now you done went forever because you done made all these relationships, but you never tell them when you do nothing, and you assume that they see it because you posted it. Well, you, my friend, you're driving a V4. You're playing against the Hemis right now, because honestly, I look at groups like Bone Thugs and Harmony, and I look at them like, dang, they was before their time. Because had they been in the 2000s, they'd be actually probably doing a bunch of collabs right now, getting sampled, doing all types of stuff. But they was in the 90s. And I keep telling everybody, I posted on my page this meme showing the eras from the 90s to the 2020s. And I said in that joint, I said, Lord, all I hope is that the 90s don't come back. And everyone was like, what's that supposed to mean? All the old people. What does that mean? And I'm like, well, that was a scary time in music.
Why?
Well, I mean, the 90s rappers were the 80s killers. So let's just be real here, people. The 90s was an era where you could get your wig shot off at a party. Well, you could get shot up leaving out of a boxing match. Now, not that that can't happen now, but let's just be real here, people. I'm not going to sit up this joint and sugarcoat shit and sugarcoat anything for y'all. But things only happen to artists today that do things to other artists or people.
What do you mean?
Well,
Like
every
you saying like there's some maybe unspoken disrespect.
retaliation.
Yeah.
No, everything is retaliation nowadays. Nothing just happens to the good guy or to the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? Nothing just happens. Everything is retaliation. You feel me? You don't just get like Takashi is an enemy because he snitched,
But nobody
right?
killed him.
Well, you can't kill someone who's paying $10 million a year to security and private detail, right? That's just that's just not gonna happen because the people that want to kill him are niggas, and niggas ain't planning shit. You think niggas gonna sit together for 6 months and plan out the perfect murder? No, that's some white shit. You know, that's and white people do that, and they still don't get away with it. You see what I'm saying? You realize that every time you see movies that depict an assassin or a silent killer who's very strategic at it, he's always like Chinese or Asian because they try to tell us these movies are trying to paint pictures for us so that we understand that they're telling us the psyche of people already. They always show when something happens to a black family in a movie, unless it's the daughter, they always let the daughter do her little thing. She gets warm, combat ready, trains for years, and becomes a silent assassin. But when it's a guy and something happens to that black guy in the movie, he squads up with his guys. He goes get revenge the same night. Usually goes to jail, or something bad happens to him, or he gets killed back. Right? He gets killed back. Now, with white people, it always happens with if something happens to them, they go in, they train only to beat that one person that done them wrong, and they learn everything it is about them, and they go in. And when it's Asians, well, they not only learn everything it is about their target, but they train on other targets. They you know, they doing whatever quick as hell training for the ultimate goal. They're learning to get away, to move, to be quiet, to be stealthy through other people before they get to the main goal. You see what I'm saying? So it's like it's not in our nature. It's not in our nature to plan. When we get done wrong, when we see things happen to us in the music industry, the first thing we do is we huff, we puff, and today we're in a beautiful world. We get to go straight to social media. So let's just be real here. What are we asking for anymore? Right? I don't want to see the 90s come back. I was afraid in the 90s of rap music. My mother would hear me listen to some rap music in the 90s and would come in my room and do just what your aunt did. Break it. Tear it up. I had to have a pop CD dubbed over a gospel cassette tape, and I had to do that just so that I could still hear Pac CD in peace. My mom walk in the room, just listen to some pop, some gospel, some gospel. Whole gospel CD with Pac all over it.
See, my father wasn't that strict because he actually had got me the doggy style suit.
Your father did what?
I don't know if he knew. He just knew who Snoop Dogg was, I guess, back then. And I don't know if he knew the type of music or if everybody.
I
My
got
father used to give me shit that other kids had.
I
So
gotta say this. I gotta say this for America, young. Your dad is like the parents who go by their kids GTA.
yeah, I got that in the PlayStation too.
All right. Well, that's how you raise bosses, y'all. You see that? That's how you raise bosses.
That's
Tom,
one of my favorite. I mean, that's one of the only. I don't know how to play sports, so I know how to play Grand Theft Auto and like multiple fighting games.
well, Tom Cruise also said that he lets his daughter do and say as an adult. So I guess it works. It works for the rich people. Why not? Why not? Why not you? Me, on the other hand, my mama wouldn't allow it,
Now,
and my dad, yeah, he definitely wouldn't allow it.
while you're talking about GCX, did you hear what Ti said? How it's not the music that's influencing all of this; it's the video games that's influencing mostly the violence and killing.
Yeah, I heard that, and it kind of threw me off a little bit, right? Because when I play GTA, the first thing I hear is the soundtrack. That's encouraging me to ride up on my ops. That's encouraging me to go look for some hoes. That's encouraging me to go rob a bank. I mean, listen, sometimes I be on GTA and I be in my house, right? And on my GTA, you know how you get to watch the TV and that cartoon will be like, kill, 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 kill. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? All right, let me go get in my car. I go downstairs and I get in one of my cars and the music is on. Kill, 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 kill. So I'm like, I'm real loud, like, I don't know. They not putting these games out with no music. Listen, I hate when people try to throw off what is driving people to be people, right? Because at the end of the day, if I recall, Cain still killed Abel. I wonder what record was he listening to? I doubt it was any music playing in the background when he decided to kill his own brother. Right? Now, I'm not sitting up there trying to mock the Bible, but like I told y'all, everything, if anything, that we need to start looking at correlation, that we need to understand why, whatever, just look at the Bible. I mean, it's not like you got to be all technical, woo, 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 but look at it. If that book was allegedly written BC, AC, whatever the hell crime, you know, that time it was written, and people were acting the same way, you have to ask yourself, this isn't a book on, this isn't a damn book on me going to heaven or hell or not, I don't think. This is a book on me to know what I got to look out for. This is a manual, right? This is like left, right, turn lefty, loosey, righty, tighty. That is what that is. I mean, it's like when I see a person moving a certain way, I'm like, oh, hmm. You always can correlate to who or what they moving like. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. What's happening in today's world? I really just gotta understand two things, right? I gotta understand that I have a position to do something, and I have to understand that no matter what I do, I'm influencing somebody no matter what. And I'm only influencing the person that is inspired by what I do. So at the end of the day, if there's a killer out there or a bad person out there and all he ever did was listen to music, then maybe that music is his thing to help him cope and get through and go over the hump. But we're not gonna. We gotta understand, why does this person feel like they should be isolated to just music? Because that's the real problem, right?
Well, when they say music influences like the violence and stuff, I don't. I'm
No,
not. I think
our life influences it.
I was about to say I don't think it's the actual music. It's the portrayance of what the artist portrays, like or I guess I don't want to say what it might be the lyrics because it's what they're talking. Like if
I
somebody's
mean, I
saying,
will
"Hey, I
go.
hop out on my ops, da da da, whatever, whatever," and then they show you a visual of it, and you think it looks cool, and it looks easy. It's like, okay, I guess they're saying that,
But
and
like
instead
I
of
s-
you praying about your problems, you'll resort to what you see.
yeah, and I mean, but like that's what I'm saying. Like I believe that it would be the same effect as if I was visually drawn to movies. You know, if I'm watching horror movies all day or watching Dexter all day. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, now that may influence my motivation to get up and go out and commit a murder or do a crime. But at the end of the day, those are just outlets. Music, entertainment is just your outlet. At the end of the day, that's not what made you want to do these things. The reality of your life and what's happening around you made you want to do these things. At the end of the day, music and art is all a reflection of real life around me. If all day long I'm hungry, Pac said it best. If I'm always hungry and I'm asking to eat, and I see the people that are talking about they took it, they stopped asking, they took it, and now they're eating, and I'm still asking, eventually I'm going to look around, I'm going to grab one. If at the end of the day I get to eat, in my mind, oh my God, they're right. I had to take it to eat. If I get caught, at the end of the day, I'm gonna say I kept asking. I got caught. Either way, I still don't eat, or I may eat however it may work, right? But the reality of the matter is, you can't. Everything that's painted in our visuals is a true reality of the facts of people got off of their ass and made something happen, made it happen. Regardless to if you listen to an artist and he's up there talking about my enemy's this, my enemy's that, and I killed him and I killed that. At the end of the day, that artist is telling whatever story that they have to tell, and the people are drawing their inspiration from whatever they have to deal with. But like I said, if life is hitting you hard all the time, what can you do?
Mm.
I don't make any excuses for people that do crimes and do things like that, but we can't put it off on the music, right? Because the music and stuff is meant to be the outlets. It's meant to be. It's here to be the stuff that you supposed to be able to run to. Everywhere has music. Everywhere.
So, do you feel like the younger guys don't have a will to live anymore? Like, I want to say from like ages 17 or 25. Like, do you feel like within that age group, the young black men these days,
So
either don't value their lives or don't care to live, or life is just that serious to where you have to,
if I
throw
had
your
to,
life away?
if I'm not in that age group, but if I had to speak for them, right, I would assume that they're not willing to take the trade off.
What do you mean a trade off?
So if you ask me, how did you get to be where you are? And I tell you, well, every day I held doors for ladies, and every day I said, yes, sir, no, sir, even if I didn't like them, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Um, I made sure I did this, and I made sure all my money went here, you know. And if just one of them youngins say that's crazy, I would never do that, right? The thing about it is, one youngin today is 100 voices. Every youngin got at least 100 followers, right? So when you think about it like that, these voices are powerful because you don't know what that with one of them 100 people, how powerful they are. So if one of them call you crazy, then now you got 1,000 people that believes that idea that you're doing is crazy. So at the end of the day, if this 1,000 people is in a circle, they've already told you that they believe that the way that you got to your age is crazy. They're telling you they're not going to do that. I'm not going to tell that man, yes, sir, no, sir. He could get a yeah, yeah. If he takes from me, I'm not going to, I'm going to go get it back. If they try to kill me, I'm going to kill them. Why should we trust the law when the law doesn't trust us? See, what we got to understand is when we're in an information era, which is what we're in, you can't get mad when questions get asked. It's like if I can just go, hey Siri, hey Alexa, and ask a question and that robot answers it, then I expect that from a human, right? So when you ask, are they willing to die? Well, no, they have more information that they can possibly or possibly not, but they have more information of their outcomes than we had back in the day. I mean, listen, if someone would have told me back in the day, I had some situations where I would do music. If someone would have told me, hey, if you go out and you kill that performance, then it's going to change the rest of your life, I probably never would have ever done anything else. If I could have researched what I knew now in 2018 and 2007, if I could have just Googled that information, then I would have already been where I'm at now in 2007. It's like, so the thing is, these kids now they already have the research. Well, like you can say I got caught, and they'll look at you and say, yeah, because you're an idiot. You didn't take your fingerprints, and you didn't do this, and you didn't do that. You know, like they got an answer for everything. So it's not a will, it's they have more of a willingness to test and go the boundaries of their limits than we ever had. And it comes off as reckless, it comes off as abandonment of life, but it really it really should be coming off more as an inspiration to all of us, not to goddamn start doing crimes and doing ratchet shit.
You mean like
But
courageous, like courage?
yeah, but to live our lives like to the fullest. Like if you can see a dude walk out here and take a man's life and literally tuck his gun and walk away, and it's all on camera now, why can't you get up and chase your dreams and get up and say, today is going to be the day I become a lawyer. Today is going to be the day I drop a hit record. Today is going to be the day I walk to the record label and try to get that deal. Because you just seen right there in plain day that someone is walking around thinking today is going to be the day, it's going to be your last day. So I draw a lot of motivation from this world, right? The sad thing is, I used to live there like, ooh. But now I'm like, no, I got to work hard because it's a legacy I want to leave. It's things I want to leave behind. We don't know when, what, how. A lot of us were taught and groomed to get old. You know, to just stay safe, to stay right in line with whatever old boss told you and old mama and old grandpa said. There's a lot of adults right now who their parents embarrass the hell out of them, and it's like, I like, why don't you say something? That's my mama. That's my daddy. Nah, he good. I'm like, nigga, you look like a damn fool out here. Your daddy is drunk in the goddamn street looking at ass, and you ain't gonna say nothing.
I mean, that's crazy. You could be respectful and still put your parent in line.
You know what? The thing about it is, Jezabel, there's more people that believe that you can't say anything to your parents. I mean, not this new generation. You see how they roll.
I mean, I ain't gonna be like F you, da 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 da, but I'll be like,
Nah,
look,
but like you know what,
I'm gonna
like
be
honestly,
stern with your ass. I'm gonna be like, look, I
I'm gonna
don't
tell
really
you,
feel like doing that today.
I'm gonna tell you, really, the only thing about this new generation is they don't know how to turn it off once they turn it on. They're more so of I'm going to give it to you how it's given to me. The problem is, let's just say you got a kid whose mom all day long curses at him, drinks, smokes. Eventually, now he's drinking, smoking, cursing, and things like that. He doesn't know how to say, oh, at home, I can drink, smoke, and curse. That kid is going to go out on the street. He's going to try to influence his friends to drink, smoke, and curse. He's going to walk around his school showing everyone he can drink, smoke, and curse. He's going to grow a certain amount of courage that he shouldn't have in that realm. When if you got somebody around to harness this kid's real courage to be able to be this leader or person that wants to oppress, you don't have anybody around to nurture that, to turn him into the next quarterback, to turn him into the next defense attorney or the next state's attorney, to turn him into the next lawyer. You only have people around because if his mom is in a neighborhood or area where she's drinking, smoking, and cursing, and his dad is in that same environment, well, when he walk outside, what's he around? And honestly, if you're a kid in the hood drinking, smoking, and cursing, you're cool with the older kids. 9 times out of 10, if you found one OG on the block to tell you what to do, right? And how to move, that's how you get saved. Now, for me, thank God in Forest Creek, I had a lot of OGs. You know, I mean, I had an OG that taught me how to fight. Shout out Quay. You know, I had an OG that taught me how to move. You know what I'm saying? Shout out a lot of people actually that taught me how to move in the creek. You know, because I was walking around like, hey, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go to this part, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna fight this and that. But when you start thinking about stuff like that, and you start thinking about, if it wasn't for Larry McClain, I'd never played sports. I'd have just been like, whatever. You know, I mean, like you gotta start asking yourself muses and things. If you don't have no look up to, well, for my older cousins, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, get in there, do that. What? Come on.
Yeah.
If you don't got these things, what are you gonna be? If all you got is encouragement to do ratchet stuff, you're gonna be you're go. Everybody in this new era is thriving to be the best, and unfortunately, y'all, we got more shows glorifying hitmen and killers than we do glorifying lawyers, rappers coming up, actors coming up, teachers, I don't care, mechanics. I mean, have y'all ever seen a show where there was a cool mechanic?
Oh, I mean, if you watch,
MacGyver, maybe what? MacGyver?
is it HGTV or something? I don't know where car shows.
I
I
mean,
don't know.
nah. See, you can't do that because you got to.
Huffinton,
You
is
got.
it
You
this?
got to. I'm
It's
talking. I'm talking about like a movie, like some Transformers type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, come
not a
on.
show.
Nah, ain't even a TV show. Ain't even a TV show. My mechanic. He's always coming through, my mechanic. He gonna make it good for you, my mechanic. There ain't no
I,
show like that. They don't glorify that stuff. So like honestly, with if you walking around and you see everybody glued in today's world of information, everyone's waking up and talking about how Tommy blew the nigga head off last night on Power. You, like that's all they want to talk about. The whole world. You can't even the whole world. Well, who's really influencing this? Is that the music? Nah, not to me. I mean, one could argue it's social media. I
I
mean,
mean, so it's left up to the parents then. I mean, so the
yeah,
parents are responsible for the way their kids turn out.
man, I'm trying to tell y'all the problem is this age gap is too short now. Like now, like honestly, back in my day, you could some of these parents were not even legally be allowed to be left alone with children because they be too young. It's like you got to be 13 to be left alone with a kid in the house. But now they got babies at 13, 12, making babies, 14, making babies.
10-year-old that had a baby.
Grandmothers Grandparents are 30. You about to tell me my 30-year-old ass I couldn't even tame my 12, 14-year-old daughter. Now you think I'm about to calm down to tame and help her raise her kid the right way? Well, hell, I already failed on mine, so I'm definitely gonna fail on the grandkid. So we not so like honestly, I say this world is already set up on societal barriers. You know what I'm saying? Like you are not warranted by your group. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're not warranted by your moves anymore. You're warranted by your group. At the end of the day, if that's why gangs are so prominent. When I was a kid, gangs used to have to be in California. Now, now the goddamn gang, it seems like it's a gang in the hood near you. It just seems like it everywhere gang. You know, so I mean, like the things that have changed so much now, and the information that has changed so much is so scary because the youth really don't got no choice. You know what I'm saying? The parents are the youth still, and honestly, I didn't even know myself until I hit 30. I was in my 20s. Yeah, turn up, getting locked up and shit. You know, so it's like, oh my goodness, I didn't even find myself to my 30s. So now you ask me to be a grandparent and try to be molding. They looking at me like, you ain't got your shit together, granddaddy. Like, don't call me that. Don't call me granddaddy. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, like, it's just a sad world. It's no more community. Social media is all based on groups and popularity. And if you get one like on your ratchet shit, you satisfied and you happy with it. And that's what makes this world so bad right now because morality is shifted based on your groups. And honestly, what happens when someone goes against you? You got the right to hit the unfollow and unfriend button. And if they harass you, you got the right to hit the block button. And if they make your life uncomfortable, you got the right to say, I'm uncomfortable, lawsuit. So I mean, no. This world that we're in is going to be the smart people are going to come out on top, and the dumb people will forever and always be on the bottom, pushing everyone up that wants to be on top. And honestly, guys, like I said, everyone out that joint killing and doing all this dumb shit. That's no different than a dumb artist signing bad contracts and complaining about it on social media later. You know what I'm saying? It's no different than the actor or actress taking a movie deal and then complaining because they didn't like the way she looked, or complaining because they didn't like the way he was moving or he was talking. You know, it's no different because at the end of the day, if you're not making yourself a boss, and I know boss biz radio, so that's kind of like a pun there. But if you're not making yourself a boss, then you're asking yourself to subject to whatever rules are in play for whatever it is that you're inspired by. At the end of the day, if you're inspired by rappers and you want to be a rapper and you're not taking your time to learn the business, learn the game, then you're going in dumb. And if you're complaining about it, you're even dumber.
So speaking of popularity and morality, it's been confirmed that NBA YoungBoy, by his manager Wack 100, confirmed that he's doing a song with Tekashi 69. How you feeling about that? Does it even really matter anymore? I feel like a lot of people have all this say about he's a rat and all of this other stuff and blah 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 blah. But so
Man, like honestly, what's crazy is everybody has a different definition of what a rat is or what a snitch is. And that's where it gets hilarious to me always, right? This is the blur line. I'm gonna say this. I like 6ix9ine. I've liked 6ix9ine since 6ix9ine came on the scene. The problem with my man 6ix9ine is he did not address the real of the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he would have came out and was like, because me personally, if he would have came out and said, look, I was with the shits, but these niggas did this, they did that. I wasn't with that shits. Then they did this and this, that to me, and now they just showed me disloyalty. Whoa, whoa, whoa. But he kind of made it like,
But
you
that's what he
know,
said. That's exactly what he said.
nah, but he didn't make it like that in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? He didn't get us on his side. It was more like, suck my dick, I'm free. I'm 6ix9ine. I'm out. I'm about to get money. Woo, woo, woo. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, bro, you got a real opportunity right now because you are one of the best artists of that time in that year. You were one of the smartest artists in that time, in that year. Now, yeah, you got caught up in a big marketing, your marketing plan got caught up in real life. Everybody in the world knew that boy 6ix9ine wasn't a part of that gang when he first came out.
I didn't. I didn't know. I didn't.
Nah, everybody in the world knew that boy wasn't in that gang.
Who knew?
Everybody, everybody on that goddamn block was black as shit. He was the only Spanish boy out there with colorful hair. We could see the writing on the wall, what was happening. Then when they kidnapped my man, had sex with his baby mother and put it on live. I mean, come on, man. You can't do that and ask for my loyalty and my protection. But let's go to NBA Youngboy. That's risque because I wouldn't do a record with a snitch that I know would sell me up to make sure he doesn't do any time, and I'm on heavy probation and strict guidelines and strict restrictions, right? Because I wouldn't let nobody like that around me. Just imagine he get locked up and he like, oh yeah, but NBA Youngboy hit a J. Let me out. I got you. Like, what the fuck is happening here?
Yeah, yeah. Do you
You know,
think it's
like,
going to hurt his brand as far as the fans and the people?
honestly, let's just be real here. 6ix9ine, I mean, NBA young boy don't got no friends, no friends, and his fans is going to be going like minions.
What do
If
you?
if the record is hot, then it's going to do what it does. And I'm gonna tell everybody something about NBA Youngboy. That young boy is smart. He doesn't do anything that's not going to sell. So if he's working with 6ix9ine, he has a bigger plan in play. But let's just be real. The industry already ostracized NBA Youngboy for Quando Rondo. So hell, I need some friends too. And if one of my friends just so happen to be one of the biggest rats with the biggest security team and guaranteed hit maker, then oh well. Now, I'm not gonna sit up here and say I like Takashi's music, but I do. But I'm just telling y'all that that's what he showed y'all how to make hits.
Everybody's going to listen to it anyway because we're going to
But
want to know how I would say. I know I'm already checking for it because I want
what
to know what it
look
sounds
at
like.
look well NBA Youngboy is at the end of his career anyway.
That's a hard pill to swallow.
Well, yeah, he's making his way to boss. He's making his way to boss status. And I give him about 2 years, two more albums, and he done. He'll be on the same level with like Gotti, dropping music, whether it be like, yeah, whatever. It's just dropping music to keep your label relevant. Your guys, because your guys, it ain't gonna be another artist as big as Youngboy on his label, and he's not gonna allow someone to grow bigger than him, and he can't be a boss and an artist. That's what I want everybody to understand. You cannot be a boss and an artist. You have to make that trade off. You have to, as an artist, you have to hire people to be bosses for you and handle business so that you can be an artist and get stuff done. As a boss, you have to hire artists to make sure that they get stuff done. You have to do things to, but it's just, I don't know. It's apples and oranges. You know what I'm saying? It's workers and bosses. It's moving and not moving. It's understanding one or the other.
Mm. So allegedly, he said he took all of his music down because he wasn't getting paid from YouTube. He hasn't seen a check from YouTube
Yeah,
from all of his streams.
yeah, yeah. And I keep telling everybody that oh, oh man, y'all want to know something, man? That game is interesting because a lot of y'all keep asking me. I want to do a lot of numbers on my streams so I can get paid. You don't get paid from these sites. I mean, yeah, you get a little check, but the checks are from sponsorships, endorsements, things of that nature.
Now
Branding.
you're saying so YouTube, but I thought YouTube pays you for your
YouTube
music,
pays you. YouTube
your
pays
views,
you.
your music video. I mean, your watch hours.
YouTube pays you for your watch hours. But listen, look at the criteria that they hit you with. You have to have 40,000 watch hours, and you have to have over 1,000 subscribers. Now, no, YouTube is not clear on is that monthly, is that daily, is that one cycle when you start getting paid. They're not clear on how that works. On top of not being clear on how that works, there is no set amount of okay. If I do 1 million views, I get this amount. If I do 2 million, I get this amount. If I do 1,000, I get this amount. There's no set amount on that, and YouTube is also does not calculate the world at the time when the world does, right? So let's just say US America says in January, that's when we tally up all our stuff. Well, what if in Spain they say we don't do it until July? Well, what if in Russia we don't do it until February? And in Croatia and Africa, we don't do it until, see what I'm saying? Like, so if you looking at this thing like, oh, I got 10 million views and I should be getting a $4 million check, 400 a $4,000 check or $10 million check, whatever, right? Whatever number you set in your head, but then you get this number breakdown. It's like, well, yeah, you got 10 million views, but you only got 100,000 in America. You got 1 million in Croatia, they haven't paid out yet. You got 1 million in Africa. You got 500,000 in Netherlands. You got 500,000. You know what I'm saying? Like when they start breaking this stuff down to you, because this is where you're trying to be too smart and an artist at the same time, because artists watch their numbers, right? Businessmen and bosses and labels watch the money and watch how it comes in. So yeah, NBA YoungBoy took his music down because, like I said, y'all, there's a transition happening where a young man is becoming a boss. And as an artist, he's looking like, yeah, y'all, I'm the top trending streaming artist on YouTube. As a boss, you look at your books like, I'm the number one streaming artist on YouTube, and I only made nothing. I haven't got a check. Well, my friend, that's you understand that the artists don't make YouTube. You don't go to YouTube for an artist. I'm sorry to break it to NBA young boy, but you were thinking like an old person right there. YouTube is where the kids go to watch these toy videos and game reviews and things like that. See, he got caught thinking like an old man because somebody old hipped him to that, told him run YouTube and you run the game, right? But see, when you getting caught up in sponsorships, you getting caught up in marketing and branding, and you're saying all this money, you don't ever care. You never ask any questions, right? But when you got legal issues and you start watching your money as a boss, and you're like, wait a minute, honestly, let's just say one of his friends is actually a big YouTuber and he's bragging about his checks. He's like, you're not getting anything? Well, no, because you got a 3-minute music video and you need 40,000 hours. This YouTuber dropped a 2-hour video and kids sat and watched them play with a toy for 2 hours or watched them play with a puppet or watched them do a 24-hour video. So music can't compete with the YouTube algorithm, right? because you're asking yourself to be now trying to drop music so frequently that you're not even giving yourself enough time for the algorithm to work. And you're not competing with the real people that control the algorithm, the real YouTubers. You're an artist. So that's on I, and I really would love to have an interview with NBA YoungBoy, and I would challenge that theory that that's why his videos are down. I don't believe him.
You don't
I don't believe.
believe that he didn't get anything from it,
I don't
or
believe him. I don't believe that at all. And the reason why I don't believe it is because he's been the highest artist on the platform for about 5 years now. What was your motivation to be the highest artist on that platform if you never received a check?
well,
I mean,
you know, that,
listen, but we understand this though. Even if it's clout, clout comes with a check. So I don't believe him, and I don't believe Meek Mill when he said he never received a check from the label or no money from the label. I don't believe any artist that's been working and said they have never received any money. I do believe that all artists that have that argument are DUMB. So Jezabel, you know what I gotta ask? What you got coming up this week?
Oh, this week, same old. We live Wednesday, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Guys, make sure you tune in, check out the website. And if you have not done so already, please like and subscribe down below. Be sure to rewatch some of these interviews that we've done. Stay tuned for what's next. I know that now
I
we
get
could
so many
post
calls all
pictures.
week.
We could post pictures on YouTube, so I'll try to, like keep y'all updated with stuff. Learning.
Dope. Y'all already know your boy gonna be on Hip Hop 9-5 in the morning, so tune into that. That's Monday through Friday, 10 to 2, like a
You quit
boss.
smoking?
Nah, I did not quit smoking. I did not. I did, however, hit about 5 J's before the show started because I was in session with my producer, man. Eli was just cooling, and I had a one more J left over that I had, and that's what I was smoking before I got here. But honestly, these indicas been hitting me hard, bro.
Right?
Right?
Come on over to the indica thing.
Nah, listen, like I've been smoking on this biscotti gushers, and that is a new strain, a hybrid. And guys, when I tell y'all, I have been getting so much unnecessary sleep. I don't know what to do. And I knew it was bad because I was hitting the daggone tree trying to drive. And I'm like, no way, no how I'm going to be able to make it to my destination.
Really? That is that strong?
Man, it is like too, like, I don't want to use the word too strong because that makes me sound like I'm not going to roll another one after this. But it is definitely very like one of those put you to sleep. It's stronger than the platinum Kush was. So yeah, man, I'm just like, wow. I've been in a good headspace. Good headspace though. I want to get back in the studio, start working on this new album. I gotta finish this album. I got about 4 songs in. I got 2 new records that I gotta record. My boy Face Love is supposed to be getting on one of the records, so we're gonna hold him to that. We actually is in the process of putting together a tour. So I will let everybody know about that real soon. You know what I'm saying? But we are in the process of putting together a tour. Probably kick off in the beginning of January. We have about 5 artists on the joint. That's it. I think
are you going to include any other artists on tour?
Yeah, it's gonna be about 5 artists that's gonna come with me, and we're gonna turn up. We're gonna go as far as we can go.
Now, before I let you go, sorry, I know I'm dragging this out, but my question to you is, why, like, if you're on the East Coast, like, have you ever thought about going like Midwest, like Denver or Omaha, Nebraska, or like Seattle, Washington, or any of those states? Have you ever considered Iowa, maybe,
Yeah,
Wisconsin? Um,
yeah.
and the reason I ask that is because I'm like, how would one from here get their music played on the radio, i.e., in Wisconsin,
Nah, and like honestly, that's what we're in the
without
process.
traveling? I mean, you
Nah,
could send it, but like,
it's
I think
impossible.
building relationships with people in different places is better than just sending them a message.
Yeah, no, it's highly impossible, right? And that's the purpose of touring. Like we have to hit Wyoming, we have to hit Idaho, we have to hit Seattle, we have to hit Kansas, we have to hit Texas, we have to hit all these cities. We got to make sure that we maximize every opportunity in these cities. Maybe sometimes it's maybe 3 shows a week in one city. So you never know. Sometimes you may have to be in one city for 2, 3 weeks before one show. So you really never know. The thing about it is, I realized this. This game is no different than trying to sell a shoe. If Nike doesn't let everyone know that the new LeBron is coming, then it won't sell.
Right.
If those Jordan ads or Jordan sneaker blogs don't tell y'all about the new Jordan, and the reason why there isn't Jordan commercials, like you'll probably never see a Michael Jordan commercial to sell his shoes anymore, right? Because when he was with Nike, they were in mass production where they were made for the whole world. But now it's exclusive. It's Jordans. It's not made for the whole world. It's made for the few that can get through and get them. And it's made to make the rest of us feel like we missed exclusivity. So there's no commercials for that. There's just blogs and private sites. So you got to ask yourself. I ask a lot of artists, what do you want to be? A lot of artists, and I hate to say this to y'all like this, but a lot of artists do not want to be the best artist in the world. And any artist that's doing that, just don't even make music no more. Just stop making music. Just
Well,
actually walk and sell your music to someone who does want to be the best in the world. And you stop. Don't make no more music. I gotta be real with y'all because honestly, this is a competition. Listen, you were in 3rd grade and little Susan, when the teacher asked a question, raised her hand up really fast because she wanted to beat you. She wanted to show them that she knew the answer before you did. Why do you think that it's changed now with adults? You think little Susan didn't get bigger and want to raise her hand before you to get to the answer before you? I mean, it's so that you can look like the dumb one.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like this world is real life, no different but a big school that you went to. And I'm sorry if you were homeschooled and you didn't have any classmates and mommy was your teacher who gave you straight A's because she loved you and you passed, right? Because you're all messed up. You're all messed up. You totally don't understand. You don't understand at all. You just don't understand. But I'm trying to tell y'all, if you don't want to be the best, when I ask you artists, where you want, why you do this? Oh, I love music. I just love doing it. I just love writing music. Oh, then don't put it out. Don't put it out for us. Just
No, they want other people to hear it. I asked somebody that the other day. I was like,
no, just wait. No, don't put it out.
but they want to share it with other people.
Then you want to be the best.
No, they don't want to be the best. They just
And
want to
they just
share
need to
it
keep
with
it to themselves. They need to keep it to themselves.
other people. You
Because I don't know what do you want, how do you want me to feel? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know how you want me to feel. I don't know. It's like a fix, right? If
Mhm.
you if you give me an album, Jezabel, and I fucking love it, but you don't even want to be the best, you just do it. When am I gonna get another one?
But you know
How
what?
am I supposed to share this and make sure that the whole world get to hear this?
But you know what? That is one of my goals though. Like I just want to put out one song. Well, actually two, an R&B song
Now listen,
and that's it. And I don't
people
want to
have
be the
goals.
best. I just
People
want to
have
be.
goals. People have goals to be one hit wonders.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, people have goals to be one hit wonders. But guess what though? You do want to be the best. It's called one hit wonder.
Whatever, man.
You want one song to be so epic that you don't have to do two songs to be so epic that you don't have to do no more songs in your life.
I do. And the more I learn, I'm like, okay, I just want them to just. I want them to be everlasting, like something you could play forever.
All I'm here to tell, all I'm here to tell
And
you is you and everyone else. Everyone wants to be the best, and the ones that don't want to be the best, y'all go ahead and take a back seat, and y'all go ahead and find something else that you want to be the best in, and do that. Because, like I told you, every morning there's some goon waking up. He wants to be the best hitter, and you don't know if he's looking at you, hating on you or not. And don't talk. A lot of people act like they're scared to be rappers now, but y'all, everyday regular people get robbed and attacked every day. And in today's world, you pretty much safe if you don't do jerk shit to other people. So if I could leave y'all with anything, don't be a jerk, and you won't get jerked. But at this time, y'all already know what's happening. You already should be putting those roaches in the ashtray, flicking off those ashes, and getting ready to roll up another one. Because I know I am. And we out. Peace.
bye, y'all. See y'all next.